I just wanted to hop on here for a quick mini episode about life lately and what has been going on in terms of not only career and business pivots and maybe offshoots a little bit, which are all fun, really great, but also newly evolving mindsets on success, money, our favorite topic, relationships, and just connection again to happiness and the ability to stay happy and maintain a consistent level of happiness and how to always be able to come back to that center. One of the things that is really the main thing that is connected to all of those topics that I'm talking about is learning to understand the power of now. So, what do I mean by that? The power of staying in the present time, in the present space that you are residing in right now, while, here's the trick, while having that vision for where it is and forming the vision of how it is that you want for life to look like once you arrive, so to speak. So once you arrive to that place that you think will be the better place for you because that's what you're dreaming about. So if you live one place and you're trying to move to another place, having that vision of where it is that you want to go, but being happy where you're at now. Let me parcel that out for a second here. But and if you don't have the money that you want right now, or the streams of income, or any income, or enough income, to also knowing, getting some clarity around how much money is it that you think is enough, and are you ready for that amount of money once it does show up, and what are your intentions with that money? How do you wish to feel when that money arrives? What is it that you're missing now that that money will then give you? You know what I mean? And then as far as relationships, oh yes, always the relationships. How to master the art of being happy, whether, here's the rub, whether you're getting that thing you are seeking from your partner or not, whether they are giving you the attention, the validation, the respect, the provision, whatever it is that you are needing and seeking and are used to having from them, whether they give it or not, still being able to maintain that level of confident, sustainable happiness, freedom, and enjoyment of life, whether you're getting that from them or not, because happiness is coming from the inside and being generated from the inside of you, and not based on conditions that somebody has to follow your manual in order to make you happy or to bring you to a place where you finally have arrived to the city of happiness. Do you know what I mean? So there's a couple offshoots of this, and oh my gosh, I love knowing this, and I love in this being in this space where I can now manipulate this skill set. It's honestly a skill set, but it's also a knowing. So here is the big key to all of this. Here is the big giant secret that brings you what you want from all of those areas: money, relationships, happiness, career. It's the ability, okay, here we go. The ability to love the journey on the way to the place of what it will be when it is amazing. So like when you get to move to that house or to that city or to that place where you know everything will be right in your world, you just have to maintain the ability within you to feel like you are already there. And what does it feel like once you are there? What does your life look like? How will you be in the world? What is the feeling that really is the underneath part of what it means for you to move to this place? Is it the feeling like, oh, I feel at home? I feel like I finally gotten to go back home. I feel energized. I feel creative. I feel free, and free because I have been able to financially get myself there. I feel so abundant because I have arrived at that city that I, so that way it feels like I am doing something right here, that I have done what I have set out to do, and I have finally arrived, and so I feel good. So if you can start to begin to embody that feeling of what it will be like once you are already there, and live as if it is happening already, then that is the quickest fast track to get you to that place. It's not up to you to decide the how. That's something I've had to let go of because I am a control freak. Many of us are, where we want to control all happiness. Well, that doesn't make any logical sense. How will that ever happen? Because that's not logical. I have no idea. That's not your job. If that's something that you are trying to bring about, the circumstances of life and of the purpose that is set for you bring about the details. Where I don't know if you've ever heard that one saying that says, put the dream out there, and God or the universe will cast the actors for it. So whatever dream and energy and whatever it is that you're putting out into the world, whether it's the good dream and the final destination dream that we were just talking about, or whether it's the negative, like I just don't see how this is going to happen, and I always get treated like crap from my relationships, or I never have enough money, and I'll always live in this dump that I live now, and I'll never live in this cool place that I'm trying to get to, or I'll never find a job out there, or I'm going to be stuck in this nowhereville career. Whatever it is that you are putting your energy and your dream life, and you are taking any precious time of your day to focus on whatever that idea is, good or bad, then God will go ahead and take care of making sure that's what you get, or the universe. It's a law of attraction kind of thing that I know some people talk about, and some people may not like hearing that, but I don't know what else other to call it other than wherever you plant the seeds, like your energetic seeds, then understand that that's what's going to grow. So if you want tomato plants, then you had better go about planting tomato seeds, because you're for sure going to get tomato plant. But if you are planting cucumber seeds and in your mind expecting tomatoes, please understand, you will never get that. You will never get your tomatoes. You're going to get cucumbers. Does that make sense? So whatever seed you are planting, that's what you get. Now, let's put that over to money. Okay, sometimes, let's give you an example, quick example of money. So if you're planting the seeds of, oh, I can't wait to get to that final place because I will have a consistent amount of income that is coming in, and it feels so good, and I feel so secure finally. I feel so free and secure that I don't have to worry and fret about next month's bills, or what if this pops up with my kids, or what if. There is going to be a consistent flow of money, and I feel secure and blessed. So those feelings are all very positive because you have allowed yourself to go into the space of, maybe you don't have it now, but you have embodied that whole notion, that whole feeling that an ocean of abundance is already yours. So I feel so good. And therefore you see more fun things and more opportunities around you as you sit in that chair that you're sitting in right now. Everything else just looks amazing to you because you have chosen to look through the lens of abundant, and just knowing that it's coming. And that, again, you can't always describe the how. You can't possibly know the how. That is up to God or the universe or whatever you believe. The how is up to them. The what is up to you, and the when is up to you in terms of pursuing it. But the how is always in that God space. I always kind of call it the God sphere. That's where he decides the how. And it's just so fascinating. If you look sometimes, and you can kind of look back on your life a little bit and see some incidents where there are times you needed, like, oh, you needed something to come through because, hey, I've got to make this payment, or like, it's a lot of times when we're younger or like in college, and we don't have like a great abundance of money, many of us, because we're doing the student thing. that you're waiting like, oh my gosh, I just hope this comes in. I hope this comes in because I need this for this. It's just amazing how things will a lot of times just show up because there is a belief system that, hey, even if it doesn't, my parents will come through or whatever it is, because you believe there's a safety net. Well, let's now, as adults, believe that there is always a safety net for us. We don't have to logical it to death and wrestle it down to the ground and kill it just because it doesn't line up with our logic. You know, sometimes as adults, we are allowed to dream illogically. Because how do you think anything has ever been created? From people who had no money. How did Thomas Edison ever make any of the inventions that he made without any kind of money, funding, financing, or the fact that it has never been even created in the first place? He literally had to dream it into reality. So why can we not also do that? It's not just for the special people. It is for all of us. That skill set of being happy in the now, but getting clear on our final destination that we're trying to get to, that is a very specific and unique skill set that we all need to hone in order to go up energetically to that next level, to kind of level up our life in all the areas that matter to us, or the areas that we are finding lack. So what about our relationships? You know, relationships can be tough because they don't always go the way that we want them to go, or our partners or whoever it is, our relationships don't always treat us the way that we want them to treat us, right? Well, what if we now apply this theory to relationships, that I am happy no matter what they decide to do? They can be a real jerk today if they want to, or they can treat me with, a lot of disrespect, or they can do whatever it is that they're going to do. And I'm expecting them to, like, praise me for something great I did in the world. And they don't say anything. Like I did something great for them and I don't even get a thank you or something like that. Anything can happen with, like, especially with marriage, there's ebbs and flows with marriages. Sometimes you're really united and like, oh yeah, let's go out to dinner or let's have a date night. And sometimes you don't even talk for a week straight. I mean, let's face it, that's kind of how marriage can be. Sometimes you get into the rigmarole of life and we put each other or whatever on the back burner. And then some resentment can start to build up because there's no connection, there's no sizzle, there's no love, there's no bleh. There can be nothing at times, So that's just the reality of how it actually can be sometimes. But what if we don't need them to behave in any certain way for us to be at our highest self? Because a lot of times our spouses or our partners or our relationships make us kind of show up. How do I say this? Like, they determine our self-worth sometimes, or our confidence, because when they aren't acting like they're attracted to us, then suddenly we are losing confidence, or we are losing like any kind of self-worth. Like, oh my gosh, my partner isn't even attracted to me. What am I? I mean, I must be like super gross or ugly or fat or whatever reason you name on that. And we let them sort of determine our self-worth. We don't always set out to make that happen, but it's very conditional, right? So if they don't tell us we look beautiful when we show up in a great, beautiful new dress and have our hair done, if they don't say anything, then all of a sudden we're not going to think we look as beautiful, or we're going to be mad at them, right? So they're going to be the author of our anger then, instead of us deciding and determining when we feel mad or upset or whatever, instead of letting somebody else have that power over us. Does that make sense to you? My God, that has been such a game changer. That is the hugest game changer, is the ability to intentionally script my self-worth, my confidence, my moods. Nobody gets to tell me when to be in a bad mood. Nobody. Absolutely nobody gets that power over me. I determine whether I want to be in a bad mood, because let's face it, once I'm in a bad mood, I'm no longer in that flow of energy. And remember, I'm trying to stay present in the power of happiness, because that is the biggest magnet you can ask for. So I am very careful over who can topple me off that post of being happy, because as soon as I let my guard down and find all these reasons to not be happy, well, then all of a sudden all the energy level down and my attraction level goes down, and my ability to attract and call in the things that I want go down. And so now everything looks negative to me, because I'm like, well, what a jerk, and he did this, and now I'm in a ticked off mood and whatever else. And so it's his fault and their fault and everybody else's fault that I'm not getting all this. And now I'm in a bad mood, and now I'm stopping trying to get my dreams to come true, or my goals to manifest, or whatever it is. Does that make sense to you? It's so crazy. It is the biggest life hack. But if you can embrace the power of now and choose, literally choose, no matter what anyone says to you, don't you let them determine your moods. Don't you let any failures determine your worth. Don't you let the lack of money make you believe that you will never have money. And don't you dare be bitter about it, because bitter is that low vibration, that low energy, below the line attitude, right? So you got to keep everything above the line. You got to keep everything above level, and that it keeps the optimism up, and you see opportunities when you are feeling optimistic, energetic, magical, magnetic, all of these things. All the people and all the opportunities seem to line up in a different direction. And it may not even have been anything that you were thinking was coming, and it can come out of left field. Trust me. Yeah, literally, I just saw something happen this week that quite literally came out of left field. I had no idea it was coming. Let's just say checks do come in the mail that you do not expect. Okay. Wild as it is, big checks. So things you don't understand do come. And so this is my encouraging message to you today: the power of now, and the power of you choosing to be happy, regardless if you have all the reasons in the world to be unhappy or bitter, or, the world wants us to be all divided and upset about this injustice and that injustice. And there, that may be, and I'm not making light of those, or I'm not belittling it by any stretch, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to. That's not your job. You can choose what is best for you and what it is that you want, and make your happiness flow towards that final destination. It's not everybody else's. It's not your job to keep everybody else above and keep their happiness and their hope up. That is not your job. You can inspire them by you choosing this way, though. So you can see how impactful that would be. So choose happiness, choose to stay present in the now. Don't you dare let anyone control your attitude, your way of doing life, your way of thinking. You don't have to think that everyone's out to get you or whatever it is. You get to script it like a play, like you are the playwright and you are the author of your story. And your story is, I floated through the day. I'm floating like on a leaf on the river, like a leaf that can hold a body up. And don't you let anything pull that leaf under. You make sure that your leaf stays above the water and you float peacefully throughout each and every day, and just see what changes in your life and how life changes for you. Because if you don't change how you see, the things that you see won't change. So you have to be able to see them differently in order for them to actually be different. So my little mini episode for today, feeling very inspired by this, have seen it play out, about 1,000 times, probably in this last 3 weeks. So many things flowing because I decided to be still instead of trying to manipulate all circumstances. I let God or the universe or energy or my happiness figure it out for me. And I just go, oh yes, I'll take some of that and I'll take some of that. And sure, that looks good too. This is a great idea. I know it'll be great. This day is going to be great. Everything's going to be great. Everything that I touch will be great because I'm in that space of knowing it and believing it. And you can be too. It's a matter of a minute. literally minute to minute, your life flips. So big fun episode today. Love it. I hope you get something out of this, and I hope this resonates with you. Do it now. Your life will be different by next week. Check in with me. Let me know how it was. I love to hear the wins. I love to hear the stories. Take care, everyone. Bye.